going to be making a pumpkin soup. This is a little bit more complicated than most pumpkin soups because I just thought I'd like to make something a little bit more special. We're going to actually make our own stock out of bacon bones and with onion and bay leaves and things. So that'll stew up for a couple of hours, and then when that's done, we just put the rest of the ingredients in. It's a very, very simple thing to make soup. If people knew how simple soups were to make, they would make them forever. Just every week have a soup. They're wonderful, nutritious and good. We start by chopping up some onion, just roughly. So I'm just going to take the ends off the onion and so the ingredients for making the bacon bone soup is just to throw in to a pot onion, a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm crushing the garlic with the back of the knife so that so it will peel away from the skin can peel away from the rest of it easily once you've broken it, because sometimes it forms a hard coat. Here we go. Just cut those in half again, just so that it'll get up there. I'm going to use some allspice, just a teaspoonful of allspice. Now the bacon bones are really just the smoked bones of pork when the butcher is making his smoked pork that he sells. These are just the leftover bits and pieces. The bones obviously mix with water, and you get a beautiful flavouring which becomes the stock for the soup. So instead of just buying a stock from the supermarket, we're actually going to make the stock ourselves. If you're in a hurry and you want to save 2 hours of work, just get some stock, get some beef or vegetable stock, and you can use that instead. But we're making our own. Now I'm going to add 3 litres of water to this. So just reiterating, the ingredients are the bacon bones, the garlic, the onions, just roughly chopped, and a teaspoonful of allspice. And that way we know that we're going to get a flavoursome stock, and that we'll be able to and this is just the long way around of doing it. Stick it on the oven, on the stove, bring it to the boil, simmer for 2 hours, and then you've got beautiful stock. So you can leave that off. We're going to bring it to the boil and then simmer it for 2 hours. And if there's any sort of fat or from the bones, we can skim that off, so that we've just got the pure stock. And then when that's done, we've actually got the basis for the soup, and then all we do is throw in all the ingredients, and it's there. It's interesting, we're making a pumpkin soup, and basically my formula for pumpkin soup is you have 3 times as much pumpkin as potato. If you're making a potato soup, you reverse it. 3 times as much potato as pumpkin. And it's a very, very good way to make potato or pumpkin soup, because the potato with the pumpkin makes it nice and thick when you eventually pulverise it all and have it vitamised and processed down. What I'll do is I'll just chop this all up while we're waiting, and a good thing to have with it is some spicy sausage. For people who are vegetarians, by the way, you don't need to make this bacon bone. You can just use a vegetable stock, make your own vegetable stock, or you can use a vegetable stock from the supermarket. It's basically 3 litres, and then I would advise that you probably sweat the vegetables before you add the water. It just caramelizes a little bit and gives it a slightly different flavour. So you can do that if you're a vegetarian. I'm showing my age when I do this.
To make you tired, does it?
Yeah.
All that leg work.
Yeah.
Too much shopping.
I feel like one of those those water gymnasts. You have to keep smiling no matter how much pain you're in. You can see that this is just about a proportion of about 3 to 1 potato to pumpkin, and that was just guesswork by me. But it doesn't have to be exact. It's just that you have to have more pumpkin than potato, and vice versa if you're making a potato soup. There's still 45 minutes to go. I'm just getting it beautifully simmering away. See, that's the simmer that it should have. And simmering away there for another 45 minutes. So in about 20 minutes we'll start preparing all the chorizos.
Give it a stir. Let's have a look in there. And this just becomes a broth, is that right?
This is just a broth. What we do is we strain it, we get rid of all the bones, we strain it, we press out as much of the onion and the garlic as we can, and then it'll be a nice clear soup. I'll probably strain it into a second bowl. The miracles of the camera and the deceit of the camera. It's now less than a half an hour to go before the food's cooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop up the chorizo into about 1 or 2 centimetre strips, and we're going to cook those until they go brown on both sides. It gets rid of a lot of the oil, drains out of them, and then we're left with a really lovely spicy sausage as an additive to the food. As I said from the beginning, if you don't like chorizo, or you don't want to have chorizo in your food, it won't make any difference to the flavour of the pumpkin. It's just a preference. Okay, the sausages now have gone nice and dark on that side. It'll have to be the same on the other, but you can see how much oil is being running off it, and so that's really healthy. And now I'm going to strain the stock. Simple thing to do. Just I'll take the bones out because they're definitely not required. Just toss them. Got a bowl or a just going to squeeze it through. I wouldn't be too much about it. They're very mushy, and the flavour, remember, is already in the soup. So you just give it a bit of a strain. Anything that just squeezes through you can use. The rest of it just toss out. And now we've got our stock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off about the equivalent of a couple of cups, about 500 mils. Because now we're going to cook the vegetables in the balance. And now we've just got to cook these until it's soft.
And that's about how long?
15 or 20 minutes, about 20 minutes. Because there's quite a lot of it. I'm also going to put a tablespoonful of paprika in there. People can suit themselves as to whether they want to use more or less paprika. But paprika isn't very hot, really.
So are these still on the low flames?
No, I've just turned them off, and I'm just going to strain. I'm going to dry them. I'll show you what I do with that. So this is just going to give an added flavour, but it's not like using chilies or anything. Oops. I want to use about a tablespoonful. So I'm just going to use 2.5 spoons. That's enough. So, and then we're just going to add some, when it comes to the boil, we're going to simmer that for 20 minutes. And then we're just going to add some salt and pepper to flavour. I'm just going to put the chorizo onto absorbent paper to drain any excess fat. And we're just about ready to rock and roll. wait for things to run their course. Don't be worried that the chorizo is blackened on the outside. It's really just caramelised the oil a little bit, and the taste and flavour will be very nice. We're just going to double check. Oh yeah, potatoes are nice and mushy. I'll show you how they mash down. This is how the potatoes, can you see that? See how they crush? They mush down nicely. That means that it's all nice and soft. Okay. So now, I'm going to do this. This is my fast way of doing it. But it certainly also looks like pumpkin soup, doesn't it? I'm just going to get a spoon.
It is orange.
It is orange, yep. Just going to get a spoon. But it certainly also looks like pumpkin soup, doesn't it? I'm just going to get a spoon.
It is orange.
It is orange, yep. Just going to get a spoon. And we're going to taste it. It's actually got good consistency. That's not too bad, actually.
That's actually good.
But you can dilute it again if you wanted to. I'm just going to taste it. Now, for my taste, this is a little bit bland. I'm going to add a bit more salt and pepper. We could also perhaps put a little bit of extra chilli in it.
Can I have a taste?
You can. You mind using the same spoon? Definitely needs more salt and pepper. It's a given. Yeah.
Tastes pretty good to me.
Tastes pretty good to you. A bit more salt.
Can taste the meat though.
Well, that's the difference between the vegetarian one and this one.
So what do you do with these srirachos exactly? Let's make a bowl.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Excuse fingers. Half a dozen of these or so.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And you'll whack some soup over the top. You can garnish it with a little bit of cream or creme fraiche.
Yeah, do that.
Bit of cream or creme fraiche. I prefer creme fraiche, but I think I've only got cream here.
So how many chorizo's did you put in there?
Oh well, there was about 15 or 20 slices in 2 chorizo, so that's about a half a chorizo. About a half a chorizo. Bit of crusty bread seems to do the trick. Is it nice and creamy?
It's good.
Yeah, I'm going to take it on the bowl. There's the cream. Oh, look at that. Cream's all mixed up in it. Looks delicious.
Pumpkin soup.
Yeah. I had to use cream instead of creme fraiche.
Yeah, what's this quite big lump?
Oh, that's the chorizo at the bottom.
Oh. It's too bloody hot!
Okay. And that's it. Steve, what am I going to do with this?
I'm eating. I don't care what you're doing.